Pledge of Allegiance. And flag is there. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Kate Smith, absent and excused. Dennis Kampelitsky.
Here.
Sharon Parklaw.
Here.
John Jones, here. Robert Smith.
Here.
Jennifer McConnell.
Here.
Bridget King.
Here.
Kathleen, help me with the last name? Kopchak. Here. There you go. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
And I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
7-0 on the vote. Need a motion to approve the minutes, or if there's any corrections we need?
We need any? No.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
7-0 again. Presentations. We have visitor Mike Downey. City Park.
Hello, Commission. Popping up on the screen here, there'll be a slideshow. About a month ago, a company reached out to me, gave me some interesting data on people who visited City Park. Next slide. So the following presentation will show all statistics from people who visit Garden City Park. Obviously, the park operates year-round. So this following presentation is from October of 2023 to November of 2024. Next slide. So as most of you know, Garden City Park is approximately 5 acres, has a 1.2-mile walking path, 4 pavilions that you can rent, home of the Garden City Ice Arena, skate park, 5 baseball and softball fields that GCYA use, and fitness court. Next slide. On to the data. So there's been approximately 314,000 people that have visited the park. About 79.2 thousand different people have visited the park. That's on average 4 visits per visitor. So the next page, and the wording's a little small, but I'll say it. Basically is the graph for every single day, how many people have actually visited the park. So on April 20th, we had the most amount of people who visited the park, approximately 4,500 people on a Saturday. It was April 21st, April 20th. That was the whole weekend of the Kerwin Baseball Classic. On September 14th, we had approximately 3,900 people. On that day, that was also a Saturday, we had a full day of ice activities, pavilion rentals, and that's over a full day. And then on October 16th, we had about 3,200 people that visited the park. On that day was our Parks and Rec egg hunt. Next slide. This graph shows the number of visitors per day. So on Saturday is our biggest day with about 63,000 people, followed up by a Wednesday, which was kind of shocking that a Wednesday beats out a Sunday or a Friday. Next slide. So this table and graph shows the times where people visit the park. 7 p.m. is the most busiest. The ice rink, GCYAA, pavilion rentals, the egg hunt all happen around that time. Definitely between 5 and 9 p.m. are our most busiest times in the park. Next slide. So this is a heat map. Everything in red is your most visits. That's where people are coming from. Any blue dot that you see, at least one person has visited from that area. So the dark blue pinpoint is where City Park's at. You can obviously tell, which we would assume everybody around us is visiting us the most. But the big wide version, there's people from Florida, California, Texas, everywhere have at least visited our park. Next slide. So how far do they travel? 16% of our visits were from 0 to 1 miles. 76% of people traveled between 1 and 10 miles, and 8% of people traveled more than 10 miles to visit our park. Next slide. Visits by zip code. So this company actually divided it up by zip code too. Just short of 70,000 people have visited the park are from Garden City. The next is a Westland zip code 48185 with about 41,000. And Westland's divided into 2 zip codes, so their second zip code 48186 is 38,000. And then you also have Inkster and Wayne rounding up the top 5. Slide. This was also a little interesting. Now this is less than 0.5%, but I thought it was still pretty interesting. Before people visit the park, the most people visit is Plato's and Burger King, McDonald's. After visiting the park, people go to Buffalo Wild Wings, Taco Bell, and also Plato's. So it's just some of the interesting information that we got from this company. And go ahead and go next slide. And anybody have any questions?
How do they know this?
So,
What are we microchipped with?
so the company told me that a lot of it is from your cell phones.
Oh, wow.
They track from your cell phones.
Yeah, all of that is from cell phones, and I will point out, if you're a youth without a phone, those numbers are the only thing really not being captured.
I want a law against that, because I don't want them to know where I'm going. I think that is
Welcome
against.
to modern times.
Right, exactly.
You gotta turn off all of your
Yeah,
locations.
that's
Leave
over.
your phone at home.
That's terrible.
You're being traced.
It's absolutely terrible.
It's terrible, but it's cool to see that we
Yeah.
have these numbers.
They don't know your name, they just know that a phone was
Right,
there.
it's in that area.
Oh, they,
Plato's
there
before
was
I
a
went to the
whole
park,
slew of
and then I went to Buffalo
demographic
Wild
Wings. Yes,
income.
They can profile you.
They combine it with
Huh?
like census information and.
That's really cool.
They can actually profile you.
That's cool.
You can be profiled from that information.
I'm sure they can. They know that you went to Taco
But hey,
Bell.
how about that? Would you have guessed there were that many visitors, over 300?
No.
It's hard to believe that we have more from Westland than we do from Garden City. If you go back and look at
What's
what
the
you said.
population of
What you said was, you said there was almost 40,000 one zip code, 36,000 another zip code,
I do-
which is more than the 70,000 that Garden City had. That was kind of surprising.
So I think Garden City residents did edge out Westland, not by much, but I do believe it was just by a hair.
I don't think by the 2 numbers from what you gave us. Because it looked like one was 70,000,
Yeah,
and the
I
other
think
2 was 40 and
68.
36. That's,
And Wednesdays, what days are the music in the parks in the summer? They have a-
Music in the park
are those
is
on Wednesdays?
Thursdays.
Oh, surprised Thursday.
Movies in the park are normally on Wednesdays, but those
maybe
we,
that's why Wednesday had the higher date on it, because of the movies in the
but we
park.
only do movie in the park on one Wednesday.
Okay.
That's the park.
Oh.
So,
But for us, I think that's really valuable data because, there's no other attendance tracking happening in the park. There's no staff there, and when you see the numbers of people that are coming, you see the baseball, the impact of all these people coming, it's really special to have that kind of data when we're trying to advocate for improvements. And, just because people aren't paying for it doesn't mean that it's valuable. and that it really contributes to the life of not just your residents, but regionally, you know, so,
That was free. Now what's the next step?
well,
So I did
So what's
ask,
their, after their freebie, what are they selling?
so I did ask the company how much it costs. They said it costs between $20,000 and $40,000. And this is just their sample of the reports that we'd get. So,
And there's probably more reports based on how
Yes.
much you pay.
probably. I would assume so.
I don't see us spending 20
yeah,
to
I don't see that.
40,000 every so often to find that
I think that is the most valuable
out.
thing that you got. I mean, we could do it for each park, but I don't think it would be as, certainly as impactful.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, any questions? Any other observations anybody wants to share?
No?
No, thank you.
Other than now you're gonna think twice about where you go before you go to the park?
Leave your phone at home.
and where
Before I
you're
go
going
anywhere.
after.
Leave your phone at home, that's all.
But you think Lone Field Bed had a lot of people visiting it too that we don't even know about.
No,
Well, right, yeah.
Right. And like you said,
Oh, yeah, question?
I haven't seen the grants that, you know, somebody can get for parks. Do they ask for that kind of information?
Like in the application?
Right.
I don't know, I don't know, but that's exactly, yeah,
Apply for grants.
right,
You gotta have
exactly.
so much-
I love having that data now so that we can use that, but I don't know prior if that was available or considered, but yeah, it's definitely, I know, I have seen heat maps being used trying to track trails and runners and all sorts of activities, so as technology improves, these are some of the nice things for us to be able to get counts on people, you know, visiting parks, so.
Yeah, and I think that what Don was saying is, if we were to go for grants, an added benefit to getting our grant through potentially is that documentation. And having that at each park could benefit us. And then if we go for another park bond in the future, we can use that information. So I think it's super helpful and could benefit us along the way too. So, very cool. Thanks, Mike, for doing that.
Next one, GCYA, updates and highlights. Joe Bandy. Joe, come on up.
Welcome.
Bring your lovely bride with you.
Oh, not close enough. Good evening, Commissioners. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Joe Bandy, the president of GCYAA, and this is,
Samantha Lee Wright, cheerleading commissioner.
she's one of the awesome commissioners who made the presentation that I didn't do because I was so busy building a first-place float. That, you know,
Well, choice
priority things
We
came.
can still take
but-
that ship down.
Oh, it's gone. It's awesome. We're gonna shoot that goal. Anyhow, I will get into talking about that, and I just wanted to bumper off of what he was saying. Why is it important to get those statistics? Well, you've seen the number one day was Kerwin Classic, and that's only on Saturday. The Kerwin runs Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So a combination of those 3 days during that time frame, you're probably seeing closer to 10,000 people floating through there. And they're coming from zip codes across the state, Canada, and hopefully Ohio this year. So I'm reaching out to them, but we'll get to talking about that. What's it important what do they say is the number one complaint at City Park when they go there? The bathrooms. Just paint them. New lights and paint them. It would be a huge improvement. So let's start that off. If you want to start that presentation,
Is that the
we'll go
first
there.
slide?
That is the first slide,
Oh, okay.
right? No. Yeah.
So Joe, you're going to lobby.
Needs are, so when it comes time and hopefully we get a grant or when money is being spent.
Okay.
I'll talk about it as we're going through. So spring and fall, T-ball, they have gravitated towards the travel industry, which is a lot more expensive, while we maintain our house ball program. It's very important to Garden City Youth Athletic Association. That is why we have a limitation on what travel teams we can bring in here. They want to go somewhere else and play, they're more than welcome, but we allow one age group travel division. So one Mustang 9 and 10-year-old, one 11 and 12 Bronco, so on and so forth. That number is probably a little lower, maybe 600 plus between fall and spring. I'd put it closer to probably 800 kids that go through the program on the annual. One of the largest and longest running programs in the area since 1954, which was the ship's,
I saw that.
last name. Okay, you got that. Go to the next one. Basketball we inherited from the city when the city shut it down back in Dan Plamonden's era. We absorbed it. Candace Westbrook, who then took it on, and she was the commissioner of basketball, did a wonderful job. We still run it today. It's been about 10 years now that we ran basketball. One of our biggest challenges is not having a city gym. We're getting shut down by the schools today because they have after-school programs that are pushing us to run games till 9:30 at night with these younger kids because we have nowhere else to go, or it's too expensive. We can't afford to pay for bigger gyms. We were going to expand this year to outdoor basketball during the off-season of baseball or whatever, even during the same time kids that aren't signed up. We did have the multi-purpose court at Moeller refinished, although that's another subject to be talked about at another time. It was not even close to what was promised. The fencing there is not even attached. You can moonwalk, and I've seen kids moonwalking on a 6-foot fabric. We put multiple requests in to have it fixed and or replaced, and there's just no money in the budget. So hence another reason, or another, where are we gonna spend our money? It's another one. We get a lot of people, and I would love to see those statistics at Moeller. I really would, see how many people go through there. Just going back to baseball real quick, because we jumped off of it, one of our biggest needs at Moeller is slag. Slag is the infield material that was manufactured at U.S. Steel downriver. When they shut down, they no longer made slag. Where can we get slag? Probably Arkansas, and it's gonna cost $18,000 to have it shipped here. And that's only for a couple tons.
So are you telling me U.S. Steel, or are you telling me that Cleveland Cliffs has no slag and they do the same thing U.S. does?
Correct. Because there's carcinogenics in their slag. So they cannot sell it to youth. So therefore, we're pushed to get what's called infield meal, or there's different diamond dirt. There's a bunch of different variations of the infield material. We had a price quote a couple years ago. I did not get a new one, but it was $30,000 for one infield, Diamond 7 at Moeller. Morgan Wallen says it the best. We've been putting Band-Aids on bolt holes. GCYAA has funded the slag for not only City Park, but Moeller, the high school, the junior high, and Berger, when we were running out of there as well. We would take that slag and disperse it, $2,000 that we'd spend on it, and we'd disperse it between all the fields to keep them up and running. Well, we haven't been able to get the slag for 2 years now, actually closer to 3, and it's going down the drain. We can't afford a $30,000 price tag to do one field. Now, ideally, if we had the field to do it, we scrape it up, take that stuff and put it back on the other fields that are hemorrhaging at the seams right now. I implore you guys to go walk, not only at Moeller, but at City Park, and look at how much is missing. It's incredible. So, away from baseball, the other one is the fencing. Fencings aren't even complete at Moeller. They haven't been since 1954. Diamond 7 is open on third base. Diamond 6 is open on first base. The other ones is one uniform area, which is fine. It works, it's sufficient, but the bumper area should probably get a facelift. While we can afford things at smaller $1,000 increments, we do fundraisers for it. Fantastic volunteers of this program. We just can't get it all. We can't. Why is that important? Because we are affordable. And if we have to increase the prices of registration, we're not going to get the players anymore. We do invite other teams to come and play with us at no additional cost, but you need kids to play with when you can't. So GCYAA is very fortunate to have the volunteers that we have, and other cities will tell you the same thing. And why else do we let the other cities in here? It's not because they can't afford it. It's because Dearborn Heights no longer has baseball, house ball program. Wayne folded their house ball program. Westland is still trying to bring it up. Inkster never did have it. These are cities touching us, and we do play with Livonia, so that's one city that we have gotten along with well. And, you know, if you only got 3 teams, you don't want to see the same team over and over and over. You bring in Livonia, they got 3, now you're playing 6. So that's the reason why the other cities come in here as well. Next slide. I'm just going to give you an overview. Board of Directors obviously see me up there, and everybody else. This is all available on our brand new website. GCYA.com was converted over to Sports Engine this year. We're going to get all of our finance converted in there, all of our tournaments, everything else hopefully is going to be converted. Payments online. We've all pushed for digital. We're getting away from paper. Anybody wants to see our paperwork, you're more than welcome to attend a membership meeting. The next one is next Tuesday, usually either on the third Tuesday of every month, but December is the second because everybody has parties at the end of December, which I do. I have a party all the time. And that was a trailer we bought for advertisement. Next slide. The Kerwin Classic, we talked about it. That's near and dear to me. I knew Jim Kerwin. When he passed, the tournament was initially started as this spring challenge. And in the second, third year, we were given the families a permission to name it after Jim Kerwin. So the Kerwin Classic, and it grew and grew and grew and grew. And now we got 78 teams from across Michigan and other states and countries that come through a 3-day period of time. And we play at Moeller, all fields, City Park, all fields, and Livonia Road. They're on house ball, so it makes sense. That brings in, revenue for the Athletic Association. Mainly it goes to baseball, which then buys the equipment for the kids, paddings and everything else. Baseballs are through the roof. Umpire costs have gone up. So that offsets all the registrations by doing fundraisers like this. That is considered a fundraiser. But it's also a huge ticket for people to see Garden City when it's coming up.
It's out of order.
That's okay. I'll let Sam go with this.
So with football and cheer, 2020 we had no season. 2021, when we came back, we just started to grow exponentially. We were struggling to make teams before that. Both in 2021 took off. 2022, we were waitlisted. We have limits to who we can take in terms of the number of players because of our football league. But we've been waitlisted ever since. We filled to the max almost every team every season since then, so that's great. We have football and cheer for grades 1st through 8th. And this season, we did get to go to the Big House to play the Commerce Chargers, which was a blast. We got to tour the locker room, and it was a really good experience for the kids. And that also ends up being a fundraiser because we can sell tickets to come watch. We are going to be there again next year, so definitely come watch us. And you can go to the next slide. Cheerleading, again, we've doubled. We do go to one competition a year. We perform a cheerleading routine and a pom routine. I went back and looked when I made this, and we actually placed 8 of the last 10 years, which is amazing. This year we brought home 4 medals, and last year I started a winter cheer program so that girls who cheer in the football season aren't left with nothing to do come November, December. January we start cheering for basketball, and that runs through early April. And then very shortly after that, we hop into football season. So keep them in sports and out of trouble. You can go to the next slide.
Just to bumper off a cheer real quick too, every city is given the opportunity to host the Cheer Fest. Again, we don't have a gym big enough to do that, so we have to force our home to another city. This year was Stevenson, correct?
Livonia.
Livonia, Stevenson, because there's no big enough thing. But that's a huge event, huge event. How many teams do you think?
There are 12 cities. Each city has 4 teams, so 48 teams. Garden City is kind of the exception. We are the largest in the league. We have been for the past 3 years, but there are other cities that get pretty close to maxing out as well.
I was just gonna ask, so Livonia lets their cheer people use the gym at Stevenson High School. You can't use the gyms here.
They're not
It's
big
not
enough.
big enough.
They're not big enough? Okay.
We bring in probably 5,000-6,000 spectators throughout the whole day.
We've reached out to University of Michigan, Eastern Michigan, Madonna, some of the larger gyms in the area, and they can't accommodate us on the, we need a year in advance. Well,
Roughly.
something like that, and they can't do it, so we're kind of forced to just, with what we can. Another example of, a greater need for a gym, I mean, I don't know if Garden City would ever build one that big, but it's just another opportunity.
With bleachers.
Yep. Okay, so then, if you guys follow us or see what we've been doing this year, we were out in the community involvement more, keep getting out there in the face, and we come in second for Chili Cook-Off, our first time ever. Got a nice looking tent there, bounce back. We have done that before, Chili Cook-Off. We did a
Trunk or treat.
trunk or treat too. Sorry, that's in the bottom. Bounce back, trunk or treat, Chili Cook-Off, and then we just won the float again, second year in a row. first place. What's the next slide? Oh, yeah, sorry, that's the next slide. There you go.
Of course.
Further up.
Oh, there it is.
I don't know how we
So
can get any bigger
slow.
than the ship, but we're gonna try next year.
I was hoping that you would put the
You couldn't
train.
even pass underneath the light. We had to like guide him around to go underneath the light.
Yeah, we did.
Might have knocked a couple pirates off. at
Well, the
time.
basket's actually bent from fiber optic, the side street. But, yeah, the train's a little sour there. We'll leave that
But
in
you
the
kept the
past.
military theme.
I wasn't first place.
23,
It's actually the USS GCYAA. It's on the back end of it, yeah. So, I don't know if I have any too much more other than, anybody got any questions for us?
Yeah, Joe, you did a great job, man, really, really, and you're not getting paid for that, so you really awesomely do a great job, I mean that.
Where do the kids play their football games at?
We play currently at Garden City High School.
Okay.
Yep. I was just elected to a second term, so I'm not forgiven yet. I have to continue for another 2 years. I'm not done yet. I feel there's, a few more things, and once I know it's sustainable when I leave, or hopefully in the right direction, then pass it on.
You'll keep thinking of ideas. You will never leave, trust me.
I know.
I know
Well-
how you are.
Well,
We miss you on this board,
That is
and
true.
you're probably more of a bigger asset for the board that you're on right now. Hey, you didn't reach out to Levy to see what they could do, did you? All right. As far as, now, is there a special term for the material that you need for the diamonds?
No, like I said, there's variable infield meal, baseball meal, whatever, diamond dust.
Yeah, but under the steel mill term, like what you guys were buying from
Slag.
US, slag.
Crushed concrete, what's in
Right,
concrete?
but then you said that the stuff at Cleveland Cliffs, you can't buy because it's contaminated.
Carcinogenics.
But what makes theirs versus US that much different? Because they both basically have the same process.
The only thing I can say is I don't think it's ever been tested. Think about that.
What, you don't think the US was ever tested?
Now, where does Livonia get theirs then? The other youth baseball,
What are they doing?
yeah, just if you know.
So LJAL has exclusive rights to Rotary, which is off of 6 Mile or 5 Mile, and like Farmington Road. They have exclusive rights to the 4 fields there. They just paid $80,000, the athletic program did. They paid $80,000 for new backstops, but they've been saving for years. But that's all that they saved their money for, was that purpose. They're also almost triple registration costs. They had new infield stuff put down, so they kind of dumped off the rest. It was like when the high school, they redid their baseball field, we were asking for that slag. I mean, we'll take it. We didn't get any answers, I don't know where it ended up going, but I hope it didn't go to a landfill, because we could have definitely used it. But, honestly, I can talk to Livonia to find out what material they used on the infields there.
I
They
just
had to
thought
hook it
maybe
all
if you could get together with them and save some money if they.
Yeah,
From what it sounds like, if you got to go as far as you're saying, and it's got to be
It's gonna
brought
cost.
in, it's going to cost.
that's kind of why we're here talking
Because
about
it's
it.
going to be, the crushed slag is not going to be the cost. It's going to be the shipping to get it here is going to be the cost. Loading it and unloading it.
I think that the cost would offset itself, where we know this infield meal is made purposely for the athletic fields, whereas we're taking a byproduct of crushing steel, or concrete, and throwing it on the field. And to get that here at that cost, you might as well just buy the other stuff that's safer for the kids. Same thing with mulch that goes at the playgrounds. It has to be engineered purposely for playgrounds. Same thing.
She can vouch for that.
Right, same thing. So, and you think about, they just had 4 backstops done, $80,000. It's a lot of money. That's backstops. There's 7 fields at Moeller, 5 at City Park. And, you've probably heard citizens' complaints over at City Park, even with that net that keeps falling in the back.
Yeah.
And the baseball is going out there. Well, if we had bigger fencing, maybe that would help. When you're sitting there, you hear heads up all the time, heads up, foul balls are going over. Sometimes windshields are busted out because the backstops were made in the 70s. They're not conducive to today's bats, I guess. I don't know, new corks in the baseball, putting them up higher, I don't know. So they need your mark, and we have different sports that we have to take care of this year was, something or another. We talk about it as a board though, and we start earmarking our money for that. Most of our money, believe it or not, comes from the fundraiser we do, charity poker. And we need volunteers at a time, so it's 6 to 2. How many of you worked?
About 12 or 13 people that have to staff that weekend, and that's the entire weekend.
So we're already volunteers to run the program, and then we still volunteer to make money. Just the board members do. Samantha's done that a lot. We have our hearts. We love the city. We love the kids. Obviously, we have 1,000 more kids in our back pocket, and I'll continue doing it. My kids are out now. My daughter just aged out, but I'm at least here for 2 more years. So we love the GCYAA. New logo and everything. Keep shining. We like soccer too. We just want to get together and partner up.
I was just gonna say, I volunteer Councilman
Yeah.
King for working your poker event.
This weekend.
When is it?
This weekend.
Oh,
Oh, I love that
I
you're
didn't even know
volunteering.
that it was this weekend.
Oh, wait, he's got to work that weekend.
Hope you don't have anything planned this weekend. You've already been volunteering for the poker tournament.
And some of the needs that we've done in the past where $16,000 we spent on the roofs to get redone there. And that was all highlighted in the 5-year plan or whatever. The roof, we spent $16,000. Foundation Systems of Michigan to bring the concrete up because it was sinking. The electrical work had to get redone there. That was almost $5,000. So GCYAA, we do these fundraisers to pay for our structures first. And now, like I said, we've been putting Band-Aids on bullet holes. We just need help. I wish I could have presented all this prior to, I don't want to get into it, but as you guys know, I was in a bad accident and it kind of sidelined me for a while. I'm good now. I got some, new stuff going. Still a little numb, but some more to come. But here I am. I'm fortunate to still be in the city, be here today. But yeah, there's a greater need for our program, and we hope that we can continue to build together.
I just hope you're grooming the person who's going to take your place.
He ain't going anywhere.
Well, I would really like to thank you, for coming tonight and sharing this, but I will say how fortunate the city is to have this type of youth athletic association, along with soccer. The amount of hours that parents, volunteers put in cannot really be replicated by a department. And it's really incredible what you have built and the success. And, I know on our side of things, I want us to be a great partner to help you do the stuff that you guys are great at. There has not been much investment in the parks, we know all that. The bond was a heartbreak specifically for our athletic teams that really, really are feeling the needs. So I think this is part of what we need to do is keep reminding ourselves what activity is happening, the benefit to the community, and continue to advocate for the improvements. I know we're excited to see if that funding for Moeller Park's going to come through. There's a federal grant out for that. It looks promising for at least about $500,000, but I'm also very concerned in how long that will take to execute. In just my experience with these federal grants, it's just a very slow going. But right now, that's one thing we have hopefully coming. But I know we'll be talking more about some of your suppliers and see if we can get some additional quotes and get them in the capital budget. But as all of you know, the 5-year plan looked a lot like the 10-year plan did 10 years ago. Not a lot happened, so that's a bit discouraging. But I think it just takes a voice to get it out there and people to advocate for it. So again, thank you for sharing your presentation. I'm always impressed listening to the numbers and the success. I love seeing kids out in the park, active, not on their phones. And youth sports are, I think, really important for youth development, leadership skills, all sorts of things, boys, girls, the whole thing. So anyways.
And I had 2 more things to say real
Yeah.
quick. You hit a good point there where you said work together with the city. The city has been fantastic with us, I will say. When we compare what we are afforded in this city compared to other cities, I think we're lucky. But they also see what we do too. And
Yep.
just touching again on the volunteer, Ken Kibbitt has been with our program since 1984.
Oh my gosh.
His kids are long gone. His grandkids have already gone through, but he still comes out all the time. Ken will be basketball, baseball. He doesn't separate. And he's one example, Dave Ferricello, he's been running baseball since 90, him and his wife. You combine all of our volunteer years, it's probably well over 200 years combined.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of us don't have kids in the program, so that shows you how much we really do enjoy it. And then, I just lost the train of thought. I was gonna say there,
Okay.
you said something else and I can't remember.
It'll come back to you. Someone say something.
It'll come back. But yeah, thanks to the city for working with us. We just want to give you guys a little bit more of an eye-opener to see what our greatest needs are.
And it's an important partnership, or as I like to say, partnership.
And it even kind of
Partnership.
shows like what Downey's report shows, that, I know
Yeah.
the whole bond thing, but whatever. I mean, our youth sports do get people to our parks, you know, I mean, even soccer, baseball, you guys, I mean, people come to our city and they spend money in our city because we're having
Yeah, that's right.
sports.
Economic impact of
We're
those
keeping
sort
our
of
kids
things.
busy and we're keeping them out of trouble.
You know what's interesting about that too is when the Kerwin Classic goes, for example, people are coming from Novi. You guys seen Novi's baseball fields? It's like,
Oh, yeah.
But
I want that. But they come to Garden City at Moeller and they go, you guys got a fantastic setup here, best ran tournament. You know, they love what they get here. Could you just imagine if we had new fields? What would the field be then? I mean, you can't top what we're already offering. But then to get a nicer field,
I'm surprised they haven't asked you to come run it in their area.
the cost
they
is
can't
right.
get there.
What are you saying? You want me to sit next to you again, John?
No, I'm surprised that like a Novi hasn't said, hey, Joe, what would it cost to have you come to Novi and run a tournament for us?
What's interesting is I only know one in the area that is funded by the city, and that's Canton. The lady that runs the house ball program there, Wendy, she is a paid employee part-time by the city. Other youth programs are either ran by volunteers or the city absorbed them, such as Livonia. Livonia does T-ball. That's ran by the city. LJAL runs everything else for baseball. So examples, it's weird, you know, and I've always said this, if the city wants to take it over, I won't have any more volunteer time. I'll find something else to do. That's fine. But you're not gonna get the love on a $12 an hour employee that you get from volunteers.
No, you're not. Never. It's not going to happen.
Not gonna happen. So while we are still awesome at what we do, right? Till we're gone. All right, I'm
Thank
done.
you again.
Yeah.
Joe, if you're going to stay and you think of the other thing that you wanted to talk about, just let us know and we'll let you jump in.
Well, I know Sam's gotta go to a basketball game, but
No, I'm just saying, if you're going to stick around and you remember what the other thing was, because you said you had
Yeah,
two
yeah.
things, you only went over one. If you stick around and you remember what it is, just give me a sign.
actually
and-
it was just volunteering.
Okay.
And working with the city, so those are the two.
Okay, so you're good? All right.
Yeah,
I'll stay
we're
though,
gonna-
John,
We're
if you
gonna
want me
plan
to.
a
If you want to
spring
stay and
work
think of
day
something
at-
else, I'm fine
Liking
with
the
that
beer.
too. Thank you, sir.
Got a
Appreciate it.
job for you coming up too.
Yeah, I'm sure that you do. And I bet you it goes ho, ho, ho.
I have a question. When are we available to go for the next bond or try again for
26.
26?
2
Okay.
years.
Okay.
Because of the way there's no elections next year. it
Okay.
Kind of moved
Run a
to
special
every other
election.
year.
Yeah, it can't really just have an election as for the park
We'd have to
bond.
pay for it and I'm
Okay.
not gonna do that.
Because I think
30, 40
Joe's
grand for an election.
reporting and Mike's reporting, having that prior to the bond, I don't think that people realize what just sports, youth sports, and it goes beyond youth sports. It's the homeschool. There are multiple different youth organizations within the city. It's not really, I mean, it's about sports, we need that because that's your foundation, but it's the kids. You start with the kids. How many kids are in the city based off of who plays or who is in, interaction for being a part of a team? People, when they're voting, they don't realize that. They don't realize the impact that youth sports could have within a community. And the Kerwin Classic alone brings in sports tourism. So if you look up sports tourism, it's not just people going to the park, it's people going to the restaurant. So all of the different places in Garden City, are involved with
Plato's
that weekend.
donation.
Yeah, Plato's are involved with that weekend. Someone is benefiting beyond the parks, beyond the Kerwin Classic. I mean, people could be, if we had hotels here, I'm sure those would be packed too. But
Oh, yeah.
again, it's it's getting this information out to the public when going to a vote like that, so, but,
I think the other thing that happened with the park bond, if there was some things that didn't happen there was things that happened and things that didn't happen within the year before that bond would have passed. We needed Erica to be here a lot sooner.
oh, for sure.
If
Yeah.
Erica would have been here a lot sooner.
I think it would have
If
been.
Joe hadn't had some health problems, I think we would have got some more support and things would have turned out differently. I won't go into all the things that I think that caused it not to pass, because I'm sure it's get me in trouble, so we'll stop there.
No, please go.
No, and Joe and I could have a long conversation on this, and I'm sure we'd both be on the same page.
My accident happened going to look for spots to put signs up, so, true story.
Yeah. So, 2026,
2026.
here we come.
So, and the work we can do between now and then is
Yeah.
continue to get that story together, have data, have a plan. I think those were the things that hurt, in the priority.
We are not opposed to helping any other sports program fundraise for what they need to. I think it's very important, she said it best, hockey needs a new locker room, let's do it. But let's not say, we're not gonna give money to soccer because we need a new locker room. No, let's all stay together, we're for the kids, that's our best interest, in honesty.
Right.
Like I said, if it wasn't for the kids, then mine's not in the program, what am I doing?
The last thing, I don't know, are you participating in the tree at Radcliffe? I feel like you could add that to your slideshow. You could get a beautiful
Have you
holiday
seen our
tree.
floats? What's the height recommend,
He's gonna bring his float into,
I was looking for a boneyard to put the tank and then the ship next to it. We'll
No,
have
no. Christmas trees is what we're
Airplane.
going for. You could decorate it with little sport things, your little logo, just.
All the
yeah.
space
talked
in the
about it.
building for the tree is what he's saying.
We
He's
do
got
have
the
an outdoor
tall-
courtyard, but to get there, we'd probably need a crane, so.
he can handle that.
Yeah.
I think we need to talk about having a temporary, we'll call it, place to stay during the Kerwin Classic. You could sell.
Oh, Radcliffe?
You could sell lots for contained campers for the weekend.
Oh,
$200.
that's actually a good
Actually a
idea.
really
We
good
should talk
idea.
about that.
My,
Anyway.
I know my camper can be self-contained if I can live off the grid, but
Yeah.
something to talk about, like you make $200 a night per camper. Get your visitors to stay and eat at sports venue too. I didn't see that up there.
Yep.
So, more to talk about. If anybody ever wants to attend our meeting, like I said, you're more than welcome to attend a membership meeting. Usually the third Tuesday at 7 PM at the police station. Good.
I think Erica will be there.
No, I'm just noting that. I've
Erica,
been to one.
aren't you? No, you just pitched. Did you?
Oh my gosh, what? What?
Would you do it opening day this year?
No, I wasn't there.
Huh?
That's where I met you.
What was that horrible pitch that I did?
That's right, you
I
did.
thought, I was like, oh, it's only up from here, because I was not prepared, I had not warmed up.
You were nervous. There's a lot of people there, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was awful, thank you for remembering that.
First
Like,
meeting of the entire city.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Months to practice.
That was the only positive thing I could say, well, it's only up from here, the expectation.
And it went down.
And she goes, I can't wait to do it again next year. I'll throw a better pitch.
I'm getting into spring training and ready.
Well, hopefully I can attend more meetings, these in the future, and if you guys ever got questions, I'll be sitting out here too.
Okay.
Like I said, I missed the last few because difficult.
Joe, it'd probably be good if he showed up once every 3 or 4 months, just so we don't lose focus on you guys.
For a second, I thought it'd probably be good if you shut up for 3 or 4 minutes. See how I can twist your words.
I was wondering where that was going too.
And the last thing I'll say is one of the inspiration for revisiting our nonprofit rental and partnerships was to really find ways to work with you all so that you have space and, that you don't have to pay. So our sports leagues especially, because you are genuinely extending the mission of parks. You're running athletic things, you're investing into the park. So it's a really valuable partnership for us.
Well, look at it this way, if we have to pay $100 to rent a room at Radcliffe, that's $100 less or $100 longer it takes us to put that new roof on again. Because we do reinvest in the city, one
Right.
way or the other.
Yep.
So you know what I mean? It's like,
Absolutely.
is there a point for that?
Yeah.
No.
So
And I
that
would
was
say nobody
something.
could shut me up when I was wired.
No,
I learned how to be a ventriloquist.
no, they could not.
You were there?
Yes, I
Trying to
was.
shoot at my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wired shut when you were there.
Uh-huh.
That was torture. Anyway.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think I'm out. Bye.
Moving on. Number 7, the public hearing.
We have,
Public hearing, anything?
we have no public.
We don't
No
have a
public hearing? Public comment, pass that. Items for consideration, old business.
We don't have anything.
We have
Or do-
nothing.
There's nothing under old
No,
business,
I think.
unless you have something that you want to bring
I
up.
did want to circle back on the nonprofits, because I did not go to council. I was planning to take it to council, and then there was some feedback, and we wanted to, it sort of started feeling like a negative thing, and so instead, I'm waiting for a meeting that I'm having with the nonprofit presidents that Zach is organizing. So I'm hoping we can get everybody together, kind of propose some of the ideas, and just make sure that it's not something negative, because it's really meant to build relationships with nonprofits. But it's also meant to provide a little more consistency and clarity in our process for how park shelter rentals and spaces are at Radcliffe. And to recognize that there are services that are being provided. Did not go to council yet. I think there was one other thing I forgot that I meant to bring. It was, at the last meeting, we had the question on the trash cans at City Park. And I was so excited. Mike made this beautiful map, summer and our winter, so I'm gonna bring that to the next meeting. Actually, it's gonna be in the State of the Park report, because I think it's really fantastic. I learned how many trash cans are there in the summer at City Park?
27.
Okay, good guess. Wow, okay.
52? There's 52?
Oh, he didn't say
Is it
yes or no.
52? Okay, I was gonna say, I thought it was a little more.
I guess,
Now you're gonna go looking for them, aren't you? Here we go.
Part-time staff,
and that's just City
right?
Park?
And in the winter, who wants to guess how many there are?
26.
10.
I sent it to
22.
you, you should know. Do you have it with, do you know?
He's counting.
All right, well, I'll confirm that. But anyways, there's a beautiful graphic, so I don't know what happened, that slipped my mind, so.
I love that there's a graphic for garbage cans.
Well, I said I needed to know, where are they? How many are we doing? I didn't know. I thought, to be honest, I thought DPW did it in the winter. And when I learned that we have park attendants still doing that, and again, this is part-time staff.
Yeah.
So it's a lot to maintain and keep that, but anyways, and as you know, I have the State of the Park report next month in January, which is good, because I think it's good to get some of the stuff we got today, to hear all of that, and I just ran out of time.
I have a question. Do they clear the path in the park in the winter?
No,
No.
no.
The sign says we don't. Is that true or false?
Please
So
step up,
they
Mike Downey.
do, but they don't have people come in on overtime to clean it, only while DPS is working. DPS is the only people that do that.
Okay.
Good, yeah, you know, it's funny, I was wondering that, and then I saw the photo of the sign in the park, I thought, oh, we don't, you know, but
We don't.
but that's,
Walk at your own risk.
yeah. Anything else?
Moving on. New business? Old, other business? Public comment? Nope, looks like that, we're done with that one. Reports from Park and Rec Director.
All right, I do have.
Come on, young lady.
You got a packet. Let's see, let me start. So there's like a cover page here. The second page has October numbers. I think you saw last month I shared September, so this is a similar thing with October that you can look at. I will just mention that things are really picking up at Radcliffe. We're seeing a lot more teens after school. It's pretty exciting. We're also dealing with new issues of teens roaming around the halls, and, you know, so trying to manage what we wished for, you know, more activity. But definitely the fall is where things start to get real busy with classes and programs and general admittance. I won't go through all of the report, but if you've got a question, let me know.
Book is done.
Yes, so Yeah, let's go to, okay, I'll go to the Radcliffe stuff. So I am doing a presentation Monday for City Council as a follow-up to the July presentation where, you know, I was like 7 weeks in just trying to figure out what was going on. A lot has happened in those 5 months. So just to highlight a few things, the roof is, the tear off and replacement is complete. They wrapped up on Thanksgiving Day. The only remaining bits are the edging, the metal edging. So those are on order, and they're not gonna probably be installed till mid-January.
Is that why that black stuff is hanging
Yep,
over?
so that's
Oh,
why it
okay.
looks unfinished.
Okay,
Yeah, I've been assured it's completely watertight. You know,
What's hanging over from the.
yeah, it's just the edging. So when that happens, I think it'll really it'll look clean and it'll look good. But the key thing is everything has been replaced, and it is so nice to not have leaks and that concern every time it rains. So that is fantastic. There wasn't any additional contingency money needed. There were a handful of smaller costs that were either from moving things up top, like electrical stuff. There was some HVAC costs. I know there's a slight addition I just got today for the monitoring services to finish out the edging. But basically, the whole project is going to be under 1.5 million, right? 1.5, which is good. Imagination Station, I know people are asking, when's that going to be done? A lot of work has happened, that is duct work, electrical, wiring, some painting. Well, actually, it's been painted, and now it's getting to, and cabinetry is in progress. Flooring is in, that needs to be installed. We're sort of having some debates on the painting, because the paint people are like, well, what color do you want the wall? And I do not know. I need to see what the carpet looks like. This is a very complex project. I was handed a vision. I was not handed plans. I was not handed design. I did not get this on my interview question. Can you design a play area? And the budget, while nice, is not on the level of the play museums that I brought my children to. So it is a very overwhelming project, and I'm trying to be really honest with people to temper those expectations. Tomorrow I'm going with a staff person up to Flint to visit their children's museum and talk with the staff there, because I have called professionals in this business that build exhibits on a large scale. I've talked to them, tried to get some assistance with design, but they're very, very expensive. I've talked to places around the country.
You reach out to the guy who's got this in his head before he gets hit by a bus.
Doc?
Yes.
I have asked him, it was all just in his head. And, you know, he was a force of nature. He's difficult to replicate. I, you know, am not quite, I want this, I want that. Like, I'm a little more, I don't know. I'm just trying to find people that are really good at things. I think we're gonna need to find a muralist. If there's any designers out there watching on the TV, reach out to me. Love to talk to people and get some ideas, because we're doing it on a shoestring budget, like to create something that, and everybody's mind is like at a museum, you know. So things are happening, not as fast as people want to see, but that's that update. The front entrance has been really exciting. On Monday, I'm going to council with an expansion of the concession area. So one of the cool things about building without design is that you can modify and change and adapt. And so what we started with was just the office and storage. And then we really started looking at bringing the concession stand up from where it is now, so that we don't have to double the staff. We can overlap and we can be more efficient. And then I really wanted to look at getting licensed so we could sell hot foods. So frozen to warm, like a pizza or a Hot Pocket or something. And so once we started going down that road, the licensing requirements require a 3-sink, a mop sink, a hand sink in each area, and some other things that started becoming possible once we were taking down walls. There was like the old locker room that we were going to build a wall and just close it off. But then we were like, we could do the sinks here. So long story short, we have an ask to council to approve that addition. It's about $60,000 to complete it, to make it licensed, but I think it's going to be a really big addition to the families visiting and even to renters and people that are maybe hosting something in the big room and you need some kind of kitchen space. So that is pretty exciting and moving along, but we'll see what happens Monday, if we can keep moving along on that. The ADA restrooms is another urgent project. That has the June 30th deadline. We finally got the executed grant. This is CDBG. It's a federal fund coming through Wayne County. And we do have $200,000 for construction. So I currently have a firm that's doing the design for that. So they're going to look at the 4 sets of bathrooms, do up a design, and then we'll probably be able to do, I'm hoping 2 renovations, but at least we'll have plans for the others. And this is to be ADA compliant, to upgrade the aesthetics of them, and just widen some of the doors on some of them. So that is the Detroit Architectural Group. I should be hearing something next week on some preliminary drawings from them. Then the teaching kitchen, another area I've been spending a lot of time in with not a lot of visible progress. I have taken cooking classes. I have gone to Grand Rapids and checked out a Parks and Rec teaching kitchen, got some ideas. I'm looking at modifying the original version. Again, the vision presented was more like a television show setup. And as I visited some of these places and thought back to when I was at Zingerman's for a class and my kids did something at another place, they have a different setup. And so I'm just trying to really, again, think about long-term, what we're going to use it for, what's going to set up our classes for success. Will it be something that other groups could use that kitchen? So stuff is happening there. I'm working with the building code, the fire department, and the county health department. And I've got an engineer locally who is assisting with the design. I think I'll have some of his sketches at the end of next week. And this individual is donating his time for our project. So stuff's happening, but that one is also slow going. And then the miscellaneous rooms, nothing's really happened yet on the computer room, which we want to find some homes, kind of downsize the computer room, get another cardio room in. Those are the rooms that have so much demand and are busy. So nothing else has really happened there. The gymnasium, I did get a quote on some ceiling-mounted basketball hoops. So we'll see. The only thing right now, and I've got to talk to Joe, we are encouraged to go side to side and not stage to, so not a full court. Because even when you go up, you're going to always be in front of the stage. So I have to kind of figure out what would be best. We could do like half court 3-on-3. It would be more of rec drop-in. It wouldn't really be for full regulation games at all. But that, anybody want to guess what a price range for that would be? Ceiling mounted, adjustable, where you crank it down and crank it up.
Right, like the NBA has. That's quite
Yeah, like
expensive.
most gyms, Huh?
30,000.
Pretty close. The one quote I got is $25,000. So at least it gives me an idea of, okay, here's what we're talking about for that. So hopefully we can move ahead on that, but I've got to get some other quotes and explore before we move on it. And then HVAC is also moving. This is still the engineering work and spec development. I have a meeting on Friday to review, I think it's their 50% review of what they've got done so far. Once they complete their work, that's when we'll be ready to go to bid. But this is the project that's set up for HUD. And I have spent a lot of time just sending emails that no one ever responds to. Literally 2 months to try to get a hold of the new grant coordinator, and then you got to bring in the legislative team, and then finally they answer you, and I'm trying to get a log into their portal. And I finally made progress today, and she's like, it takes like 2 weeks to get it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So that's the thing I need to actually put our application in so that we can get approved, so that we can execute the agreement and start spending and then be reimbursed for it. So kind of moving ahead with the HVAC, beginning steps, but I've got to get progress on the grant side. So that's the update on projects. Though, like I said, they'll be a little more in depth on Monday. And then quickly on the grants, I think I kind of just mentioned it. I don't think there's too much. Oh, no, let me please take a moment and say we did accomplish the 70% goal. On November 15th, I had the last, there's a mistake on there, the comma. It should be $826,000, which pushed us to 2.865 million that we have submitted for reimbursement. We've gotten 2 million reimbursed, like 2 million back to the city, and I'm just waiting for this last request to get through the processing with the county. So we hit that mark, and really, if you consider, there's a number of funds that are committed or in progress, so they're just not completed. So like the roof completion is not all paid. Some of the work all phases is doing is not paid out yet. So we have about 300, it's more like 350,000 already committed. So what we have left is like 750,000 from the ARPA.
We have until next year, October, to spend.
And we have till next October. So that's really what next Monday will outline, is like what's left. And, you know, one of the hardest things is all the time old bills are coming in or expenses you're not anticipating. You know, I got a bill for the gym design that was $40,000. So things that you don't have planned, it's like, okay, we got to pay that. So the money is starting to go, but at least there's a plan for it. And then I mentioned the HUD stuff, the CDBG, I mentioned that, and then really nothing else has changed. So any questions on those?
So just a quick review. So we've covered the Radcliffe project updates, correct?
Yes.
The grant updates,
Yep.
the follow-up items.
Oh, yeah, okay, Radcliffe branding. Oh, no, see, I did put this in here. I'm sorry, I forgot. Radcliffe
that's-
branding, so we still have a survey out. I think the winning choice is to not change anything. So, that's a little bummer. I'm actually thinking we could keep Radcliffe as the name, but I was thinking about naming different entrances, and maybe we just call the entrance to the recreation side, the rec. I don't know. But I'm sending it out again in a newsletter, in the database newsletter, to see. We haven't gotten a lot of interest in it. And I think you all had made a
Oh,
suggestion.
yeah, we made the, yes.
Was that what you're interested in?
Oh, yeah.
So I did add this,
That's cute, I like that.
or we have that, but I got to get back to that, that survey. The survey wasn't very well done. That was my bad.
Who's getting the survey?
It went out in the database. Actually, you all haven't gotten it, have you? Okay, I need to send it to you. I was trying to, I was going to clean it up a little bit after like an initial round, but now I kind of feel like it's already out there. I should just send it. So I'll pass it on to you all to vote. But it wasn't, yeah, it's not a very good survey. But I actually need to update that. So I'll work on that. Then I mentioned, we already talked about City Park trash cans, the nonprofit stuff. And then the upcoming events, I did put in your packet.
So in other words, on C, we're complete. A, B, and C are done.
Yeah.
Small A, B, and C are done. So
Yeah.
now we're up to upcoming events and programs.
Yep, and in your packet, calendar,
Yes.
that is
Excellent.
a new feature that our marketing person Emily did. And I will say, this is not finalized, and one of the things that I was working on today is during winter break, all of our classes are on like a holiday break. So all the dance program, the FRC, some of the rental groups like cheer and whatnot, nobody is coming in. So I've proposed closing at 4 on the 3 days of those weeks, because we do have a day camp and we've got spaceport hours during the day. But it has not been approved, so we might still be open till late. It's hard because we're pretty empty, so it feels like, should we really have staff here? But we also don't want the optics to look like, oh, we're closed. But we really center around the programs and the things that are happening, and when those aren't there. And senior programming is pretty dead during the holidays, but. And of course, the ice rink is booming. This is where they shine over the holidays. Oh. What's that? Oh, wait, what did you send me? Oh, okay. 42 cans for the summer, 20 for the winter. Thank you. So, okay, I think that's all I have. Any questions? Did you want to go over the upcoming stuff? Anybody?
Fine, we have it here, we can read
Yeah,
it.
there's a whole lot of good stuff in December. Santa Ride is the 19th.
Right, yeah, I like that.
The last thing we'll talk about is a Christmas tree at Radcliffe, if the park commission would be interested in decorating it, or if you're opposed to me putting your names or something on the tree and decorating it.
We're gonna send you our pictures.
Yeah, put that, yeah.
We're gonna get.
Yeah,
That'd be
we should
nice.
make ornaments. That's what I was thinking. Make an ornament in your faces, and then we could put like everything great
And the
about
next thing, it'll
parks.
be
It
a
could like
dartboard somewhere.
flowers. It
Don't
could
put our
be.
names on it, though, just.
Meet the park commissioners.
No, it'd say the park commission,
Yeah.
and then the
Yeah.
ornaments, if we could look for like, sporty things or flowers or trees. I think it'd be so cute. We could work on it, every year.
Birds
make
and
it better.
parky things.
Yep.
That's a good idea.
So you guys cool with that? Like, I'll get the tree, or we have one maybe that is in stores that I'm gonna use.
We all should have wore our shirts. You could have took a picture, and we could have had all of our pictures on one decoration.
Well, yeah, that would have been good. I have some photos of you all.
Yeah, from the park.
Yeah.
Do you want to find a day to come and do this together a little bit? Like, you could wear your shirts.
Yeah.
We could just be like 30 minutes. Doesn't have to be,
Sure.
I hear a sure, I like that.
Yes.
I mean, this is a great opportunity to
Let's do
promote
it.
the park commission, to, build that
Put a picture in
strategy.
Put a picture in where? In
the record thing that you send out showing us decorating the tree.
Yes, a lot of photo ops.
Well, why don't you get these guys to make a motion and do it?
I don't know if we need a motion. We're just gonna pick a date.
And aren't you the chair for this?
I can't make a motion to do
We
that.
need a
Well, I can't.
A
Does
motion.
everybody want to do it?
Yes.
Is everybody in support?
Okay, so then you're good. You're good right there.
Yeah, I
Now you
don't-
just need the date and time.
Okay, so, yeah, what's
What about
everyone
next
doing?
Tuesday? Anybody
Are
free
Tuesdays good for y'all?
Tuesday? No?
I'm working.
What about a Thursday?
Later in the day.
Next week, next week I'm free.
Or Monday? What about Monday, the 9th or the 16th? The 9th?
It's a Christmas tree. so
The
maybe
9th, I
that's
got
soon.
that council presentation, so
Oh,
I'll
okay.
probably be a little tied up.
Then Tuesday.
Day or towards evening?
Well, I think,
Wednesday? Did you say? Wait, who can do?
Tuesday, what about Tuesday? the
Tuesday?
10th? Yeah.
I
How
can't
about
be
Tu-
there Tuesday. I work.
All right, well, what
7
about
days.
Wednesday?
I am not available at any days I work.
Well, I think somebody said the 11th.
The 11th? Anybody?
Wednesday?
Wednesday,
That's
the 11th?
Wednesday.
Anyone? Everyone? Good?
yeah, what time?
What time?
Like 6:30?
Yeah.
Like normal meeting time.
Sure.
Yeah.
On Wednesday, the 11th? Bring a snack? No, I'm just kidding.
No, we're gonna eat out of the cafe.
It's not
The
perfect
snack,
yet, but.
the snack cart.
All right, well, I will, okay, wear your green shirts. If you have any ornaments that you think would fit that you want to bring or whatnot, bring it. I'll work on the tree and,
Wednesday, December 11th,
Well,
2024, 6:30 PM.
Yep.
Correct?
correct.
Oh, there's your.
So, okay, so you have,
I
Man,
had
it
nothing
look
to
good.
do, I put it up.
yeah, you have a week then to think of like a good ornament, a couple ornaments to bring.
Oh, I have some too.
Okay, this will be fun.
I got an owl. I'm gonna bring an owl.
An owl.
There you go. I got plenty.
They're all other.
I know. Yeah.
Yes.
I forget, because then they got.
I need to get rid of some ornaments anyway.
I was thinking the same. I was pulling to you to get rid of.
Yes.
All right.
Jim.
Moving on. Commissioner comments. We'll start with Kathleen. Kathleen, anything for tonight?
You know, their presentation, I didn't mention it, but they said they were hard pressed for basketball court time.
Yeah.
I wonder if they check with, say Rayfields or St. Thomas the Apostle? I don't know. Or, you know, I don't know liability and insurance and stuff and all that, but it occurred to me after they left.
Yeah.
To take with them because they no longer have the school there.
Can you reach out to Joe?
Yeah, I can ask him about that, for sure. Yeah,
What
that's a
about
good
even
question.
Tipton?
They use Tipton.
Well, the other thing would be, yes, somebody else said
Most of their
Tipton. Reach out to him and
games,
ask him if
yeah, or
he's
they
reached
were,
out to
unless-
Tipton. Because
That's-
Tipton, he has what, 3 schools, or 2 schools right now?
Yeah, but that's where they were using is Tipton unless, I know they went, unless they're using both, the middle school and Tipton, but that's where their home gym used to be, was Tipton, but I think that they were using it themselves, the school was using it, so they didn't have time for them, so, I mean, that's where when my kids started with GCYA basketball, that's where all of the games were. And it would run literally from like 6 until 9, like they were saying. It's like, because the school takes precedent and their sports will go after school until that time. And then they get whatever's left. I mean, we had games at like 8:30 at night with these little kids because that's all that they had available. So, but again, I think that they may still be using it. I'm not sure. Joe would know, I'm sure.
It wouldn't hurt to just remind them, just in case. And there's no
I'm sure
no other Catholic schools around, are there?
St. Mike's, but that's like, I mean, that's not too, I don't know what their situation is with their gym, but
Back in the day, Metro Basketball Association was a real big thing here. And we used the Salvation Army on Warren. That's where all their games were.
Salvation Army on Warren?
I don't know if they.
Maybe reach out to
The
Joe.
NBA isn't
I mean,
there
it doesn't,
I mean, I'll
it doesn't hurt. If he
feel like
already
they
knows the
probably
answer.
have turned over every stone, but
oh yeah,
you never
I'm
know.
sure.
Yeah, okay.
That's all I get.
Sure. Sharon?
Just welcome. And it was good to see all these presentations tonight. It really gave you some insight, especially like the numbers on the people coming to the park.
I don't have anything.
Jen?
Just the Santa ride on December 19th. Obviously, go to the Garden City Facebook page and find out more information on that. And then I know my daughter will never see this, but a happy 24th birthday to my daughter today, my Juliana.
Dentist?
I have nothing.
Robert?
No, I don't have anything. Just it wasn't bags, Mike. It wasn't bags in the for the dogs at the park. I noticed that.
There wasn't.
Come on, Mike, you know.
And that's the other thing, actually, that was brought up last meeting. So we're
That's my bad.
evaluating how much, like, how many bags we go through in a year. So that's kind of a new data we're looking at, because there is some concern that some people are coming and pulling
Oh, yeah.
excessive. So,
For that is definitely happening.
Yeah, you did. Which is 300 bags. Oh, well, you should be good then.
I'm sure people are I'm sure, like you're saying,
So, I mean, that-
people are taking them for their walks around their house or something like that, too. So it's not like it's just for the park. And I don't think you're ever going to be able to stop that. I have 2 things I'd like to talk about. The meetings that you had at the parks before the vote, I would like to see us do something in 2025 and 2026. I don't know if we need to do it twice a year, once a year, but I think we need to at least do it again in 2025, 2026, and I think we need to figure out how we can advertise that better and get a better turnout. I think our
what if we
turnout.
combine it with our park workdays?
Yes, good
We could
idea.
do that, and then the other thing is, you might be able to get, we probably should reach out, since they're here and they're in my head, reach out to Joe and say, hey, we're having these, if there's kids in the area that are part of your group, have them come to that park so it looks better. Even if it's only for one day.
Yeah.
And if you put that online, I'm an advertising guy. I'm a salesman.
Done.
So yeah, so 2025 and 2026, I don't want us to lose track of that. Where are we at with our next 5-year plan? When do we got to start that?
Oh, I think we have 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay,
You just did it.
all right. The other
Ready
thing,
to do it again, I see.
no, the other thing is, I think this kind of, it got quiet, but whatever happened to the guy who owed us all the money at Radcliffe for the one room?
T-Lab?
Yes,
Well, funny thing is he is paid in full. He came yesterday, which was the court date, and is paid in full.
Wow.
till when?
I think till December.
Okay, all right. So we should have got a nice check for that.
We sure did. It was about 29,000.
There we go.
Yeah, I should have mentioned that.
The money guy, remember?
Yep.
That's all I have. I need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to
What about our
adjourn.
next meeting?
Huh?
What about our next meeting?
Oh, yes, January, yeah, I should have, did I not put it on there? I did not. I think our next meeting is not until January 28th. Does that sound right, a Tuesday?
Yep, it would sound right.
And then I did want to mention, I think in the past, you maybe have done some sort of holiday thing. We could no longer do that, but what we're doing for boards and commissions is in February, there'll be an appreciation event.
Oh, like they had.
Yeah, they've always had one.
So they've always had that, yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, so it was,
We've always had different things.
yeah. So things are a little strict right now, and when it comes to food and purchases by the city, so no special thing. Not my decision.
No food for you.
That's all right.
No
There's a
soup.
guy I can reach out to and ask him.
No soup this year.
All right, so we're a wrap?
That's it.
I second that adjournment down there.
I made a motion to.
There was a
adjourn.
motion
And I
made,
second.
Right,
and
somebody
there was a
made
second here.
Second, okay.
Meeting adjourned.
See everybody on the 11th.